There are many dark and twisted things in this world. You can find all manner of monster that roam the land. Vampires that lust for blood, dragonids that snap their jaws, sirens that dive from out the water, and ghouls that walk the graveyards at night. But in a place we call Velen, hidden away in Crookback Bog, there lay 3 terrible, decrepit beings. 3 beings older than the witches, older than the elves and dwarfs, older than the conjunction of the spheres, and far more terrifying and dangerous than any monster that might creep and crawl beneath the moonlight. The Crones of Croocback Bog are a trio of witches made from water and dirt. Their mother, who created them from the elements, was a woman from a very faraway land, one that we still do not know the name of. She created her daughters because she was lonely in her new world and wanted those she trusted to carry out her deeds, for she was going to take over this new world for herself. The people of the land she had come to, otherwise known to us as Velen, called her the Mother, or She Who Knows, or even the Lady of the Wood. Over time, through her power, she became the ruler of these people and their world, her 3 daughters bringing her people's requests and serving as her voice to them. The people either admired or feared her, so much so that every spring they took to making sacrifices of grain, animals, and even men in her honor to appease her. But as the years passed by, the Lady of the Wood began to slip deeper and deeper into madness. Her madness spread and soaked into the land itself, to the point where men started to abandon their homes, setting out into the bog, becoming food for beasts. Velen began to drown in blood. The daughters, made of water and dirt, saw their land was nearing destruction and took it upon themselves to save it. When spring once again arrived and the people came back to their yearly sacrifices, the sisters killed their mother, burying her body in the bog. The blood from the corpse watered the oak atop Ard Serban, from where a tree grew wholesome and hearty fruit that the people of Velen harvested and ate. However, the Lady of the Wood had an immortal soul, one that could not simply die and leave its beloved land. So the sisters imprisoned that soul beneath the tree, now known as the Whispering Hillock, where it thrashes about in a powerless rage. This is a place that I'm sure many of you are familiar with and have visited before. All of that said, it generally explains where the Crones came from and how they became the true rulers of Velen. And as to whether that's historically accurate or not in terms of the witcherverse, we're not too sure because it is again just a story. In more recent history, the Crones of Croocback Bog are known to most local folk as Brewerus, Weavus, and Wispus. No one knows their real names or as to what type of beings they really are. They can't be classified as any particular type of monsters because they are so unique. Their appearance is largely seen through merely a painting that depicts the 3 sisters sitting beside each other. It shows them in their years of youth, but beneath the beauty lie the same cruel and twisted minds that rule Velen. In fact, the appearance of the Crones can take on 3 forms: the tapestry, that of a young woman, and their decrepit, monstrous look that is, as far as I'm concerned, their true form. The reason I say this is because their younger appearance can only be sustained through drinking of magical elixirs that keep them from aging. Not only that, it also gives them supernatural strength and vitality. But no matter their appearance, be it physical or only a voice, they are the true rulers of Velen, as they help the land's people survive through harsh times, although at the price of absolute obedience, which they use and display on many occasions. and although they did end up killing their own mother, they did take to her example and often used a person to speak to the local folk rather than doing it themselves. They like the mystery that surrounds them and keep themselves safe from prying eyes or angry blades. And considering their power, the question might be asked as to why they have not spread further through the land or even beyond. Although they do wield magic, they do not do it in the same way as a normal mage. Instead, they take their power from water and earth and are bound to the land in which they live, meaning they can never leave and hence have never spread further than Velen. But although physically restrained, that does not stop the whispers and rumours of their presence. In fact, some people have made ties between the Crones and the goddess Matil and Freya. The reason for this connection mainly stems from the forms in which the goddess and the Crones appear. Each has three versions of themselves from a point in natural life. A version of themselves from their youth, one from their middle age, and one from their crumbling crone-like appearance. Some even think that the mother of the Crones is the stem to most religion in Velen, seeing as how she is so old and ancient. But most of it is just theories and probably just coincidences. Now when we come to the tales and folklore that inspired the Crones, we are painted many different pictures by various writers and artists. Most of the inspiration behind these creatures is from a famous Slavic character known as Baba Yaga, who alone has countless cousins and sisters who are either connected to her or are merely their own representations. One of the biggest connections I could make was a version of Slavic mythos that portrays three sisters. They share striking resemblance to them in many ways, mainly the reason behind that they are also another trio. Otherwise, they are very similar to the traditional Baba Yaga. There is talk of flying through forests atop massive pillars as she causes terrible storms, talk of how she creates a silence as if there is nothing alive, living in a hut standing on chicken legs which is constantly moving so that she can move whenever she wants, talk of fences made of human bones and skulls, teeth and a human foot being the lock and a hand being the key. Some believe that her house is a connection between two different worlds and that she is the connection between them. The stories of Baba Yaga are so many and so varied, it's impossible to place any specifics. The only other inspiration for the Crones is from a Shakespeare play that depicts three old witches that tell men their fortune beside a bubbling cauldron. I think the Crones, from best of memory, came from Richard III. But no matter what or where they came from, the Crones of Croocback Bog hear everything. They predict the future. They twist the fate of men and women alike, bringing forth blessings as well as curses. They are ancient, evil beings who have sunk their teeth deep into the land that honours them out of fear. Do not be tricked by their appearance. They are stronger and more cunning than many a monster that have walked the world, but all things that bleed can eventually die.
You can bring it, not ogle it.
Never seek to cross us again.
We shall forgive you this transgression, for you've done well. Your children are plump as piglets, sweet as caramel.
But now we must talk to our white-haired friend.